West Liberty University has been a part of my personal life for almost 40 years, or 40 years. I attended West Liberty in the early 80s. At that time, found out what an awesome, unbelievable university it is. Back in the day, West Liberty State College grew so much, learned so much, and it's such an integral part of the entire Ohio Valley. So after graduation, I was invited to come back to campus almost immediately. Started my career in Wheeling, got my feet on the ground, and West Liberty invited me back. So I was on the Hilltopper Athletic Club, went through the foundation, chaired the foundation, currently on the Board of Governors. So I always tease people, and I kind of tell them, like, I graduated from West Liberty but actually never left. So I think that's what's great about West Liberty, is how we stay in touch and we keep the outreach and we keep everyone involved in how important it is to our Ohio Valley. With 2,500 students and the unbelievable programs that we have through our sciences, through our business school, the Gary E. West School of Business, our new science building. I think that the Valley realizes, or I hope we do, what an important cog it is in educating our students, outreaching, all of the social events that happen because of West Liberty University is out on our hilltop.
Hello, I'm Susan Creswell. My husband Tom Cervone and I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. And Tom is a 1975 graduate of the theater program at West Liberty University. Tom and I have both spent our lives in the arts and culture business, and West Liberty played an integral part in that career choice. He has always felt that he wanted to give back to West Liberty, and we are proud and happy that we are able to do that and support the theater department in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the choice in so many ways was made for me during those formative years at West Liberty. I was inspired by two very, very giving, generous artists and human beings, Stanley Harrison and Dr. Helen Kelly, both of whom have changed their clothes, as they say, have moved on to the big stage in the sky. But without the two of them and the opportunities afforded to me at West Liberty, I really, each and every day, I access lessons learned from the hilltop. I've met some terrific people who remain lifelong friends. So it was a decision that Susan and I made, and I've actually been thinking about this for many years. And donor sort of support is a relationship business, and Angie Hill and I have been friends and colleagues for many, many years now, and we worked on this relationship for a long time, and I feel like it is time to help students, particularly now during a very odd and difficult time for performing artists or any artists. So for me, now having an MBA, I look at the ROI, I make the investment, and this one is pretty much immeasurable. I don't know that I could ever give back 100%, but I will continue to support and encourage and yes, keep the theater program alive and vibrant at West Liberty University.
On the individual level, myself and a few other employees here at Belmont Savings Bank have graduated from West Liberty, so it's exciting to be able to be in a position where we can give back. The skills and basic knowledge we learned at West Liberty allowed us to, get out to the world and be able to make our mark on it. And now we're in a position where we can give back. So it's exciting to be able to give back both individually and corporately. We're a community bank. It's exciting for us to be able to help and support any community events, and not just send money, but also give back to them. The good thing about West Liberty is it's not just a donation on our part, it's actually a partnership, and that's what's really exciting for us, not only as a bank, but be able to give back and attend West Liberty events and be a partner with them in the educational system. The Belmont Savings Bank Prax facility was a brainchild of a couple individuals up at West Liberty, and when they presented us the idea, we loved it from day one. Myself, I'm a former baseball player, so I knew about the late nights in Blatnick Gymnasium, fielding ground balls at midnight, because that's the only practice time we could get. So I knew about the struggles of being a student athlete and trying to get up to go to class when you have practice such a late at night. So it allows more easily these teams to get in and get out and get their practices and be able to get their studying done as well. So it's a win-win for both us and the university. And we were super excited to be able to partner with West Liberty on this project. Also, it's very important for us at Belmont Savings Bank to see West Liberty thrive. The majority of the students at West Liberty are local students, so not only are we a local bank, but these people are going to come out of school looking for jobs, and if they can partner with us or come to us for advice, or if I in any way, or any of our alumni in any way, can help them out to find local employment and they want to stay local, that's a win-win for both us and the local job market.
First of all, we're a big employer of the students, the graduates from West Liberty. All throughout the organization, we've got West Liberty graduates here. So it's a great resource for our community. We wanted to continue to support it. And I personally am a big believer in liberal arts education and primarily the critical thought, kind of interrogating decisions before you make them and trying to understand different people's perspectives and views in terms of reaching decisions. And I think you get that in a smaller class setting, smaller group setting. And I know at West Liberty University, it's like one teacher or one faculty member for every 19 or so students on average. And that small group setting allows students and the teacher, the faculty, to really talk with each other, and the students to be able to have an idea, articulate the idea, gain advocacy for that idea, and then implement that idea, all within that smaller group setting. And what I find when you learn that skill, not that you can't learn it at a big school, you can, but I think at a smaller school, it comes a lot easier in that smaller group setting. And then you can take that beyond graduation to the corporate setting, to the government setting, whatever the case may be, and be able to work together in more of a team environment. And I saw that firsthand myself, graduating from a liberal arts school, and I felt that was a big advantage for me as I moved into the workforce. And West Banco feels the same way I do about it. They supported West Liberty University long before I got here, and I just want to continue that tradition and continue that support, because I do believe they graduate tremendous students who have the opportunity to have a big impact, and it shows itself right here in our own organization.
I think what inspires me to give back to support West Liberty is that it's done a lot of good for a lot of people. It's a university a lot different than when I went here. It was a state college when I was here. But the thing that's unique about West Liberty is it covers a broad spectrum of students from a variety of economic backgrounds. And I've seen the campus grow both physically, from a standpoint of the students are from all over the place, many different backgrounds, many different races, a lot of different things going on here that were different than when I was here in the late 70s, early 80s. And I got involved with the foundation, I don't know, you would probably know, probably 15 or 20 years ago. And I've been motivated by it because I see the good that the money that we give or have given, what it accomplishes. And you don't see that in other things you get involved with this much. West Liberty had an impact on my life. I had no idea where I was going to go to college. I was accepted at Pitt, WVU, and Notre Dame. And I couldn't decide where I wanted to go to school, and my dad talked me into coming down with a friend and the friend's son to look at West Liberty. I had never been here, and it was like in March or April of the year I was graduating high school. And I came here and I started to look around and I got to talk to the wrestling coach, and I decided this would be a good place for me to try. And I wasn't even sure I was going to stay after my freshman year. But about 3 or 4 weeks after I was here, I decided this was the place for me, because the first thing I noticed was the classes were reasonable size. The professors, from what I could tell, knew what they were doing, and it's been a good place. And I always speak highly of it. There's a lot of different places I could have went to school, but this choice was the right choice for me. So helping out here, I'm blessed to be able to do that. My wife's a West Liberty graduate, and we like giving to West Liberty. And there's been a lot of good things come out of here. There's been a lot of good people come out of here. And you can't believe how often I'll be places and I'll either find somebody that went to West Liberty or their kids went to West Liberty. So it touches a lot of people. And the help that we give the school, I don't think it's ever been wasted. And I think it's made an impact. It might be way different at a big university, but here, I think every donation counts. And I think the donor base here is growing. I think the foundation in the last 5 or 6 years has really accelerated their efforts. I see a lot of good things happening here. And it's fun to be part of that. And I'm not involved with every social event that happens for the foundation or the school, but when I come to them, I really enjoy them.
Hi, I'm Chris Williams. I am the president and CEO of the Federal Home Loan Bank of Des Moines, Iowa. And this is my husband,
Jim Tabai. I'm a retired former commercial banker.
And we're coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa, as I said earlier. We moved here a couple of years ago. We are both graduates of West Liberty University in 1986. Why do we give to West Liberty? So lots of reasons. I'll start and then I'll hand it over to Jim to summarize his. But mine are basically because I grew up at West Liberty. My parents were living in faculty housing when I was born. So I was one of those brats that lived on campus basically. My dad taught at West Liberty University for over 40 years. My mother worked in the library for some of that time as well. My brother and one of my sisters also went to West Liberty. And my dad ran the clock at the football games for over 20 years. So very long history with West Liberty. So when it was time to go to college, there was no place better to go than there. And Jim?
So my story is a little bit different. The only connection I originally had to West Liberty was my brother graduated there with a 4-year degree. Fortunately for me, though, it turned out that I had an associate's degree from a local college, didn't really put it to use, worked in retail for 10 years, decided I needed to go back to school, and West Liberty was the perfect opportunity for me. I was able to live at home, continue working, so I commuted, had transfer credits from a school that went by quarters, so I had a few extra credits, so I had a couple of summer schools to go through. When I moved to Atlanta and had worked in international banking, I had an opportunity basically to travel halfway around the world. When I left that job, I came back to the Upper Ohio Valley. I was working in the bank that I got my first job out of college. I was sitting in the same office, and I was actually offered an opportunity to be an adjunct teacher for bank management class at West Liberty State College, which meant an awful lot to me as well. But really, what kind of, also cinched the deal for me was meeting Chris there while we were in college, and we hooked up again later in our life. But from both perspectives, though, West Liberty has been very important to us, and we also see the advantages that it offers the current local community. It's done a great job of building programs, stretching out from the traditional curriculums that are offered. So we just find it important to continue that tradition and help in our giving.
And we just think education is such an important part of a young person's life, and couldn't be more thrilled to be able to help with that. So we want to continue to do that, and just hope everybody benefits from what we're able to do in our lives to give back.
Well, I'd have to say I've always had the job since I was 12, but I never ran a business. And come to West Liberty, they taught me how to run a business, deal with CPAs, bankers, advisors, and so forth. And I think I just got the basics that I needed to run a business, and it turned out very successful. Well, you never forget where you came from. Never forget where you went to school and learned everything that you've learned. And if you were a good student, I'm sure 99.9% of you are, they are. And you learn everything that you need to learn to run a business. I took business administration and accounting. I didn't like accounting too much, but it taught me how to read a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. That's the most important thing of running a business. And I hope that graduates will donate as much as they possibly can in the future. School needs it. When I found out we had a turf football field in 2007, I didn't realize we were about the only college that had a non-turf football field. So that's what made me donate here. I can't believe we didn't have whatever others had, but I don't know why we didn't, but we didn't.
I feel as strongly as Gary does about the college. I did not attend here, but my heart is here. And it's been so rewarding for both of us. We don't live in Wheeling, our hearts are here, but when we come back to Wheeling to see what the campus has done, what the staff has done, the students are all happy students. It's such a beautiful thing, and we are so very grateful we're part of it.